knew that was bad news. Like the minute I saw it, something in my gut feeling was telling me that something is about to go down. So I upgraded my M15 Alienware, and it's not how I pictured my upgrade to be. A lot of things happened. I'm gonna talk about the horror stories that happened to me with my previous computer and how things progressed to today. And I don't really have a structure for this video. It's gonna be more of a story time, and I'm just gonna vent, and I'm gonna share with you what happened to me so you can avoid the traps that I fell into. All right, let's get started. Today I'm gonna spill the tea. Okay, I have a lot to share, but for those of you who don't know me, my name is Malak. I'm an architectural designer in California, and I use my Alienware for design purposes. I'm not a gamer. I don't game. I don't do whatever people do with Alienwares. I just need a performing computer so I can have my heavy graphic software, because I do 3D, 2D rendering, stuff like that. All right, so let me give you some context on what happened. Last time you guys saw me was in June 21st of 2022. Okay, I shared my 2-year review of my Alienware, and everything was perfectly fine. Everything was working. I was super happy with my Alienware, and there was seriously nothing to complain about. I shared my video, and I showed you how I use the computer, how I use the software. I showed you how performant it was, and I was stoked with Alienware. I was extremely happy, and I also shared what I wanted to upgrade it to, because I was worried that when Lumion, which is a 3D rendering software, when Lumion comes up with updates, I always have to up my game in terms of graphic cards. Now, Lumion came with new version, and my graphic card was still fine for my M15. As I said, everything was working fine. That June of 2022, I posted that video. Then I went to Morocco. I'm originally from Morocco. I went to Morocco for vacation. I was there in the summer with my parents, in my parents' house, and it was hot. You know, Morocco is in North Africa. It's hot. It gets hot there. I don't know what's the correlation between Morocco, the heat, and Alienware, but besides the point. I was in Morocco, and I was editing one of my videos. I recorded a video, and I was using Premiere Pro. I had my Premiere Pro open. It was a nice peaceful afternoon. I was working on my video, and then my brother and my sister came, and they asked me if I wanted to go for a drive with them. So they were just gonna drive around the city and then come back, and I was like, okay, yeah, let's go. So I leave my computer on a table, because of course Alienwares get hot, we all know that. I left it on a table, and I went for the drive for like an hour or so. I left the Premiere Pro open. That was the only software that I had open. So, and then I come back, grab my computer, put it on my lap to start working again, and the mouse doesn't want to move. Of course, every time my mouse doesn't want to move, I get a mini heart attack. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? I had that happen to me before. My mouse doesn't want to move. I first closed my computer and just shut it down and restart it. Everything was fine. But this time it was different. I pressed that Alienware button, like the power on and off button, and then I try to turn it on again, and I get this screen, a pretty scary screen that I've never seen before. And it says, check in media presence. I'm gonna leave a screenshot exactly of what it says. I knew that was bad news. Like the minute I saw it, something in my gut feeling, like my whole body was telling me that something is about to go down. So I looked at it, and I grabbed my phone, I took a picture, I sent it to my brother. By the way, my brother is a software engineer, so whenever he's like my IT guy, whenever there's an issue, I always text him. I texted him, I was like, what is this? I don't understand. Why am I seeing this? And he's like, oh, it's okay, you know, just like try to like restart, just try to restart it or something like that. And he tried the first time, second time, third time, and it was not working. Now I'm starting to freak out. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I just had Premiere Pro open, and this was in the summer, and you know, I had like some work and projects here and there, but I cannot live without my computer. I need my computer up and running, functioning at all time. So I started freaking out, and I was like, okay, this is not good. I'm like looking online, doing some research. It just would not want to restart. And I'm like beating myself up. I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have left Premiere Pro open. Maybe this, maybe that. What should I have done? I asked my mom, did anybody touch the computer? And she was like, oh, what were you talking about? Like, we don't have kids at home. The computer was just like sitting there. So now I'm starting to freak out, and I told my brother, okay, I need you to come home right now. I need you to fix this for me. I don't know what's going on. Open it, do something with it. I don't know. And I was in Morocco, so internet was not super fast, and like we wanted to do things, but we didn't have backup computers. My brother is also here in the US with me, but we were both in Morocco at the time, so we didn't have backup computers, and we were just really panicking. And I told my brother, okay, figure something out. So he went and he did this whole thing, BIOS, I don't even know how to pronounce it, set up, where he actually explained to me what he did. But let's see, I wrote it down, but I just want to share with you how exactly he explained it to me. So, okay, my brother said my hard drive got corrupted and I couldn't execute anything. So he did some research, and he found out that Alienware has a utility software that manages the installation of Windows and the hardware drives. So he downloaded the utility and in a USB, and he stuck it to the computer and load the BIOS and the OS from the USB, not the drivers, and formatted the hard drives, and then load the new drivers for the OS. I really hope that made sense. But anyways, for those of you who are really geeky and understand this kind of stuff, I just wanted to mention what he did to fix that. Okay, so now I was relieved, but I really panicked. I was like, that was on my mind all day long. It really ruined my vacation basically, and I just didn't really know what triggered it. Okay, that was June 2022. Now I come back to the US. I used whatever my brother did. My computer was working fine. I didn't have any issues. I had some blue screens here and there, but you know, nothing scary like that chicken media presence and whatnot. And then June 2023, I go back again to Morocco, and again the same issue happens, but this time instead of the chicken media presence, I just turn on my computer. I don't do anything. I just like move my mouse and it completely shuts down on me. Blue screen with the little sad face, because there's another type of blue screen that I'm going to mention, but this one in Morocco is just the sad face, and then it says 0%, like if it's doing something, but it doesn't do anything. I shut it down again, turn it on again, and then same exact thing. It starts like heating up, and then I hear the fans going on, and then it shuts down again with the blue screen. So this time I was super frustrated. I'm like, what is the correlation between Morocco, summer, and my Alienware not working? Like, why does it always have to do that in vacation? And why does it always have to do that in Morocco? And I'm like, is it the heat? Because Morocco is in North Africa, it gets hot. Like, does it do something to the computer where the computer just overheats? I don't know. Anyways, so this time I call a tech that I know in Morocco, and I take my computer so he can see it. And this tech, you know, my brother is a software engineer. He does mostly software and understands that kind of stuff. But this guy, he was like more on the hardware side as well. And he opened my computer and he told me, your computer is the dustiest computer I've ever seen. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I live in San Francisco. I live in downtown San Francisco. It's not like dusty here or anything. Like, sure, there are bridges and highways and stuff like that, but I don't know where the dust comes from. Anyways, he's like, your computer was so dusty. It was overheating, and the heat melted something inside the computer. I'm gonna text that guy again and ask him what really melted. And if he tells me, I'll let you know. But something melted inside my computer, and that triggered the fans, and then it overheats, and then the heat melting. It's like kind of a loop, and then my computer couldn't do anything. So he replaced some parts in my computer. Then I finished my vacation, I come back to the US, and then my computer is working just fine. So that was June 2023, July 2023, and I'm working on my computer just fine until December 2023. And December 2023, one day I was working on Lumion and Revit. Again, I get the blue screens here and there, but nothing major. I can always like just force close it and then start again. But this time it was different. I was working on Lumion and I open it, and Lumion is not detecting any of my graphic cards. It's like, I'm gonna show you another screenshot here. It just shows red. Like, you know how there is a benchmark for Lumion? All of that was red basically. And it freaked me out. I was like, what the hell? And again, my brother was in Morocco at that time, but I was here, and I'm like, what's going on? This is not good news. There are certain errors that I get on my computer that is like, okay, fine, whatever. But there are certain errors that really scares the shit out of me. So I was like, what is going on here? This is really bad. So I sent it to my brother. He's like, oh, maybe you just need to update your hard drives. I think that's what he said. I was like, okay. So I updated my hard drives and it's not working. Now my mouse again is freezing, and then I force close it. I first close it, try to turn it on. It doesn't work. Oh my God, what's wrong with this computer? Like at this point, December 2023, it's been almost June 2022, 22, 23. So it's been almost 3 years and a half since I first got my computer. And I have to say that that computer went through hell and back with me. Like, no doubt. I really don't resent Alienware because it's not them, it's me. You know that saying, it's not you, it's me. It's me. I know I really abused that computer, and I was like, I am fine upgrading, and I already shared in my previous computer that I was gonna upgrade, but you know, it was working fine. I didn't feel the need to, but at that moment, I was like, okay, I can upgrade, but it's not the right time. It's just not the right time. I was so busy with work, and I really, really needed a functioning computer. I was not in the headspace to be going, doing research, looking at my computer, like building it, customizing it. I didn't want to do that. Like, I was like, okay, because December is a really busy period for me. I wanted to get all the projects out of the way, and then in the spring, maybe I can look into that. Even though I did say that I wanted the X17 in the previous video, but I still needed to do some more research where I'll pull out my credit card and pay, and you know, like I would have to commit to a certain computer, but it was just not the right time. Okay, here I am again, panicking, trying to figure out what to do, texting my brother constantly, like, please help me, I really need a computer. So he told me, like, the first thing that my brother told me, like, Malak, I told you need a backup computer, you need to have a desktop, stop with this Alienware computer thing that you have, just buy an Alienware desktop, stop buying a laptop. And I was like, please, it's not the time to yell at me, I'm already devastated, just give me a functioning computer, then we can have this conversation another day. So he was like, okay, right, go to my room, I have an extra desktop there, try to plug it and try to download your Lumion and stuff. It's probably not the best graphic card, but it will get the job done. So I get his, he had like a Dell desktop. So I grabbed it from his room and I took it to my room, tried to install everything in it, and it worked okay. It was not like Lumion standards, if you know what I mean. But it helped me kind of get through that super busy period of deadlines. Now, fast forward to the New Year's, I was like, okay, I can't keep working with this desktop. I need to either buy a new laptop, whether Alienware or something else, or just upgrade the components of that desktop. And my brother said, I think you need to upgrade the new components. You need to stop the laptop. You need to stop with the laptop things. And so what I did, so I was like, okay, I guess we'll have to do that. And I just need to say, the reason why I don't want a desktop is because I work really late hours, and I don't want to be stuck to my desk all day long, because after 8 p.m. I just don't want to be sitting in a chair like this. So I rather grab my laptop, put it in my lap, watch TV or something, and then do my work on the side. or just lounge in my bed and just do things on my computer. I just don't want to be like tied to my desk. Anyways, first world problem. But back to the story. I was like, okay, so I'm gonna call the Geek Squad at Best Buy. So Best Buy is like a place where you can go and like buy the electronic stuff. So I went to Best Buy website. I got an appointment with the Geek Squad, and I also bought a 4080 what was it, an Nvidia 4080 RTX graphic card, so they can put it into my Dell desktop. And then I go to the Geek Squad. I had to pay like $200 membership or something, and then I sat there and they saw me with this like 4080 graphic card, and they're like, okay, so you want to place it in your desktop? I said, yeah. And then I pull out like an old Dell that my brother had from, I don't know, like 2014 or something. They're like, oh, okay. They're like, because we saw the 4080, we thought like you had like a super fancy desktop. I'm like, listen, I just need a functioning computer. I don't care, just do whatever you need to do. And they're like, okay. So they took my Dell in the back house, and they're like, okay, so you can come back in a week. I said, no, I'm not leaving this Best Buy without a computer. I need to take a computer with me home tonight so I can resume my work. And they're like, oh, okay, so let's see, They talked amongst each other, and then they're like, okay, we might be able to like cut it today. I said, okay, whatever it takes, I can wait here until your closing hours. I don't mind. I just need a computer tonight. So the guy took it, and then he opened the Dell, and then he was like, he came back and he's like, I don't think we can't put your 4080 graphic card into this Dell. I was like, are you kidding me? What do you mean? Just figure it out. I don't care. He said, no, because the power supply, whatever, like he was trying to explain to me. I'm like, okay, just tell me what do you need from me? What do you need? He said, well, we can build you a computer. I said, okay, can you do that today? He said, no, you have to wait like 2 weeks or something. I'm like, dude, I just told you I need a computer today. I don't know how to say it in like a simpler, this is like plain English. I need a computer today. He said, well, we have some Alienware here in the store. You can go take a look at. I'm like, God, okay. So, and then I started asking him questions like, well, maybe you can take a look at my current Alienware, like my M15, and figure out what the issue is like. And then he said, okay, why don't you open it up? So I open it, and then I open Lumion, and then he shuts down. And he's like, whoa, what was that? I said, this is what I have to deal with. And then he said, okay, try to turn it on again. And then he went online and he tried to update the drivers, like what my brother told me. And he tried to like do some like troubleshooting and stuff, and he just couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. This is like a Geek Squad team member. Like these people, they know, they live and breathe computers. They know what's happening with every single computer. They can understand the issue. But somehow my computer was just like doing things that nobody could understand. Why? Like, what was the reason? And so I was like, okay. And then he gave me like a little breakdown of how much it's going to cost me to, if the Geek Squad builds me a computer with the components and like the specs that I want. And I'm going to show you a little photo of how much that would have cost if I did that. And I was like, okay, that's good solution. I will reconsider that because I do eventually need a desktop, but for now I'm in a hurry. I need to buy a computer. So he's like, okay, yeah, the Alienware section is over there. So I walked away from the Geek Squad stand, and I went to check out the Alienware, and I get there and they don't have that many options to choose from. Now, if you remember from my previous video, I really wanted the X17 in white, and all I could find there was the M16 and the M18 and some desktops, I believe. I don't remember, but I'm gonna insert some pictures of that area of the store. But I was like, okay, so this is everything, you guys? They were like, yeah, we only have like 3 in stock. Like Alienware is not something that people just walk in and buy. I'm like, oh my god, oh, you guys just ruined my upgrade experience. But anyways, so I was like looking at things, and then I was trying to like weigh between the M15 and the M16, sorry, the M16 and the M18, and they are massive. I mean, massive, especially the M18. But I was like, well, Malak, look at the bright side, maybe you can have a bigger screen, and you know, your eyes are not going to be as tired and as strained from work. And I was like, okay, let's look at the bright side, because literally nothing is bright at this point. I was like, okay. So I tried to outweight, but the thing with the M18 that they had didn't have a good graphic card or something like that. There was something off about that M18 that didn't make me want to buy it. So I was only left with the M16, and that's what I upgraded to. I upgraded to the M16 Alienware, and it's been 4 months now, 3 months and a half since I upgraded, and I don't know, to be honest, what really to make out of it or what to say. It's very similar to my M15, but the only difference is that it's slightly faster because of the graphic card. I have the 4080 graphic card, and I will show you again the specs of my current computer. So that's something that I like. I like that it's fast. Graphic card is a little bit more powerful. I like the mechanical keyboard. I don't know, it just feels like nicer to the touch. Now, what I don't like about my M16 is how heavy it is. It's super heavy, and I like literally can feel the weight of the computer on my lap when I'm working like in my bed or something. I can feel the weight, and it's not, I can't carry it with one hand. Actually, I have it here next to me. It's super heavy. So this is my M16. Let me see if I can show you what it looks like. Oh, it's so dirty. So this is the M16. It's super bulky. Actually, I was pulling up the picture that I took at the Best Buy. So this is what it looks like. I'm gonna actually show you from the side. You see that? This is super heavy and thick. And when you look at the keyboard part, this part right here is so wide compared to my M15. It's so heavy. I really like, I can lift it with one hand, but it's really heavy. It's really straining on my fingers. I don't really feel like aesthetically is not as pretty as my M15. I actually have my M15 here. This was my M15. This poor guy, seen some bad days. This is my M15. It's so nice and sleek on the side. This part is not as wide. The keyboard, like I said, it's not as nice as the M16, but I don't really do much typing. I'm more of like a mouse person. Super light, extremely light. I can just like really put it in my bag and everything. Now the difference between the M16 and the M15 is the screen size. Now, to be honest, I don't think the size between M15 and M16 is that much of a difference. Maybe if I've upgraded to M18, it could have been like a game-changing thing for me, but the screen is not that big that it makes a difference, to be honest. So, but again, I didn't have a chance. I didn't have an option. I couldn't really just wait and then order something online for my like with the specs that I wanted to my likings. I was kind of forced to upgrade prematurely. So that is that. Also, the difference between the M15 and the M16 is the battery size. Now, this is the M15 battery that I showed in my previous video, and this, my friend, is the M16 battery. Like, what on earth is this monstrosity? Like, why does it have to be that thick? I don't understand. It's so heavy. Like, you see the difference? Like, sure, it's a bigger computer, but does it really need this big of a battery? I don't know. It's like embarrassing. Like, when my brother came back to the US and I was showing him my computer, he was like, what the? He looks like one of those old computers back in the days. But yeah, this is the battery. It's super heavy, extremely heavy. Now, the other big difference between the M16 and the M15, the M16 has better fans and cooling system. and I can really hear and feel the air coming out of the sides of my computer. When I turn on like a heavy software, I can feel the fans really trying to cool it off. So I do think it has a better cooling system in that sense. What else do I feel like it's better in this one? I don't have as many blue screens as I used before. Actually, it's a different type of blue screen that I see right now in my M16 compared to my M15. This one, it says like Windows didn't load correctly or something like that. And I truly believe that Alienware is a really good hardware company. However, it's the freaking Microsoft that always messes up. I don't understand why they can't fix the blue screens. It's not like I wanted to, like I told my brother, like what is it that I can do to avoid these blue screens? And he said, well, you can't. Like Microsoft is like, the architecture of Microsoft itself is like that. Like the Microsoft itself is a virus. That's what he was saying. So it's really, there's no way out of it, and there's nothing that I can do to avoid it. Please, if you know a tip or something that I can do to avoid blue screens, I would be so grateful to you. I really noticed that the blue screens have been more of an issue for me lately compared to before. Like when I posted my video on my previous M15, I didn't have that many blue screens. It was not an issue for me at all. But right now, every time I'm working, I'm always paranoid that I'm gonna get a blue screen out of nowhere, and like it doesn't save. Like when it happens, it just happens. Like you don't have a moment to like figure out what to do or save or something. But that brings me actually to my next point, which is backup. Like you really need to invest in a good backup drive or cloud or something. Like I have OneDrive because it goes with Microsoft. So for me, it was so quick to go from my previous computer to this one, and you know, everything came already, like even my desktop was set up the same exact way. So that was something that I was like, okay, at least something is working. I didn't lose any of my projects, and I was able to just like jump back on and continue working. Okay, the price point. My M16 was 2,900 something. I'm gonna again leave the receipt here so I can give you the exact number, but it was almost $3,000 computer. And if you remember, I purchased that 4080 graphic card component, like a solo component, and when I told them, well, now I can't use it because it's not compatible with my Dell, they said, okay, we can take it back and we can credit it into your computer. And that's what they did. I think the graphic card itself was like $950, I believe. So I got that credit towards my new computer, and I returned that. And yeah, I don't know, like if I feel like I should have been more proactive in terms of having a desktop ready for me to go if something like this happens, but I was just like procrastinating on that. And then because I was not prepared, I ended up screwing up my upgrade and like getting a computer that I was not really planning to get, because I already have the M15. Like why would I upgrade to the same exact like thing with a bigger screen, like to the M16? I wanted to try the X17 and I wanted it in white so bad. I wanted a white computer, but it was just really poor management from my end. But anyways, I was just happy at that moment to like have a new computer so I can get back to my projects. Like aesthetics and colors was like the last thing I could think about, but now looking back, I just feel like I got robbed from my upgrade experience, where I wanted to be go on the website and like customize it and like pick and choose like my spec and stuff like that. But this one is doing the job. It's working, it's fine. I would still probably am hoping to get the X17 next time. I also get a lot of comments in my previous video about how the X17 overheats. And I did read that also in a lot of forums, that the heat is really big issue. So I don't know, like I feel like some people really love it, some people say it overheats. But anyways, that was pretty much my story of how I ended up with an M16 Alienware. Again, I still think that Alienware is a good gaming company for computers if you're a designer or if you do anything heavy with graphics. I still think it's a good option. Now, I didn't really have the luxury of going and venturing into like new computers or trying like another company, because I was just so traumatized and I just needed the computer as soon as I could. So yeah, I think I blame it on Microsoft. I truly do. I blame it on Microsoft for all the heartaches that it gave me. It prematurely forced me to upgrade, whereas my graphic card was still fine with my M15. I don't know why it just all of a sudden disappeared on me. I think the hardware itself is good, it's just the software that is not good. So yeah, so again, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I really hope your upgrade journey is going to be better than mine. I truly hope that. So again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.